I've come here today to announce my candidacy for the Democratic nomination for President of the United States.
Robert Kennedy Jr. is running for president. He is the nephew of former President John F. Kennedy, and he is the son of a former Attorney General and presidential candidate himself, Robert Kennedy. Both of those men, of course, were assassinated, but they also come from really the most famous political family the Democrats have. Nothing short of sort of a political dynasty if you're a Democrat, and that's something that Robert Kennedy Jr. is really leaning into. It's no coincidence that he announced his campaign in Boston, which is in Massachusetts, and really sort of the center of political universe for the Kennedy clan. The interesting thing about the modern incarnation of this candidacy is that many of Robert Kennedy Jr.'s family don't support him. A couple of them are active members, active ambassadors for Biden's campaign, for Biden's administration, and are continuing to campaign for the president, and would rather not see him running for president. So he's sort of best known as a Kennedy, and yet he's not beloved by all the Kennedys.
Thank you, Dennis.
He is an attorney, an former environmental attorney. He's an author, and he is best known for his longtime opposition to vaccines. He's been a prominent voice opposing vaccines for many years, really since the early 2000s. But that activism really sort of exploded during the COVID-19 pandemic, when he was able to raise a lot of money from people who were very skeptical of the vaccines against COVID.
They're taking investments from other county services to cover the costs that have been exposed, meaning they are taking unplanned time away from work. Schools, hospitals.
Good morning. My name is Dr. Tony Bark.
Do we want to be a country that forces children
So one of the policy areas where Robert Kennedy Jr. really differs with President Biden is on the war in Ukraine. Kennedy basically says that he supports Ukraine as a country, but that he feels like the U.S. role should be limited to humanitarian aid, and that the U.S. should not play a larger sort of military role.
You'll hear this mantra, this trope from the big polluters and their indentured servants on Capitol Hill and elsewhere, that we have to.
Robert Kennedy Jr.'s candidacy is a long shot by any measure, and he would really struggle, I think, to reach double digits in any major primary contest. One of the factors working against him is the Democratic National Committee has sort of unapologetically lined up behind Biden. They are not planning debates with Robert Kennedy Jr. or any other Democratic challenger, and they're basically their attitude is that Biden should be reelected and that there shouldn't be any challengers, including Kennedy.
I want to say,